Hello and how are you? My name is Muhindo Mbarak and I welcome you to this other episode. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can create your Flutter application and connect it to the server. And in this video, we'll use the local host, or what you can call XAMPP or WAMP. So by the end of this video, you'll be able to send the requests to the server, then perform some logic, and after performing that logic, you send the response to the mobile application, and the two can do what? Can communicate with each other. And then when we proceed, I'll also show you how you can make your application communicate with an API that you'll be able to create by yourself. Also in this video, I'll also show you how you can receive the information that was sent from the mobile application to your server. I'll show you interesting things such as handling the files that have been uploading the files from the mobile application to your server, as well as saving that information to your MySQL database. So you have a lot to cover in this video, and I hope you're ready and interested to do this with me. If you are, then let's get started right now. So this is a simple application. It is at this point, you should be able to create an application that can do this. You can have a home page, and then when you click on this plus, on this icon, should take you to another page, and then you should be able at least to collect some data. In the previous class, we've been discussing this, how to collect data from a form, and maybe enter here some price. And when you click on submit, you should be able to validate and then tell you whether you're good to go or not. So we're at that point, okay? So at that point, here right now, we can be able to tell. Let me put this one down. You see, if I come here to run, I can be able to tell that my application is good to do what? To upload some data here. So we are uploading what? Some data in it. Let me remove this method of initializing. I don't need it. Okay. So okay. So at least right now, if I come and put here in the console, let me just say print and say product name, put $sign, and then I should be able at least to print a product name. Okay. So if I come and clear everything here, and then I click on submit, you should be able to see this. Okay. Click on submit, you can see I'm able to get here the product name, which is this is not the product name. I'm printing the product price, in fact. Okay, you see I'm printing the product price. So if I enter here maybe 19,000, and I come and click here, when I click on submit, I should be able to get you're good to go, and then 19,000 written in console. So there we are good, and I hope everyone can reach up to that point. Okay, so if you cannot reach that point, go to our previous videos. You'll be able to reach this point where you can collect some information from the form, and then upload and make them display in the console. So after reaching that point, now we're going to look at the logic of sending this information to the server. So to send this information to the server, it means that we will need to prepare the server where it's going to host this information, where this information is going to be to be received. So I'm going to create a server. So to create a server on your computer, you'll need one more software. It's called XAMPP. It's a PHP server. So XAMPP will enable you, XAMPP or WAMP, it will enable you to have a temporary server on your computer, such that when you purchase your own online server, you'll have done all the practices offline. So when you purchase online server, you just copy the data that was offline and then put it on the online server. So this offline server or the local server, we use it when you're doing that, when you're practicing. So if you don't know about XAMPP, and you should go and search about it, and at least at this point you should be able having some basic information about what is made by XAMPP, what is writing some basic PHP. So just come and search XAMPP, and then click come here to download XAMPP. Okay, so you'll be able to download XAMPP and then install it and then start it and then go to htdocs, and you'll save your projects in what? In htdocs. Or if you're using if you're using Mac, you can come for MAMP. So if you come to MAMP download, this is what you'll get. So you can go ahead and click on download, and then you'll be able to download MAMP. Okay, so for me, I already have one, so I don't need to download another one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start my MAMP. So if you're also having XAMPP, or go ahead and also start your XAMPP. Okay, so I'll open my MAMP. Okay, so my MAMP is here. So if you after also you have installed XAMPP, you can also start your what? Your XAMPP. Okay, so this is my MAMP, and this is how MAMP looks like on what? On Mac. So if you're having XAMPP, you'll have just a slightly different different user interface. So this is where we start the MAMP, or we start the server from here. So if you're having Windows, you'll see the Start Apache. You'll see that button. It will be straightforward there. Start Apache, and another button will be Start My SQL. So those two buttons will enable you to do what? To start your server. So for me, I already have this one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start my server, so I can have my local server started. So I click on Start, and then it will start the process and start. Then after, it means that now we have to do what? We have to open a folder where we're going to save our project. Okay, so if you're using Windows, your project will be saved in htdocs. So you go to disk C. That's where XAMPP is always installed. If you don't change the disk, go to C, and then you'll see a folder called XAMPP. Then open that folder, and that folder, you will see a folder called htdocs. Inside that folder of htdocs, you will create your project. Okay, so my folder of htdocs is here. So I hope that everyone can reach the htdocs. It is this one. Let me put here in list so you can see. This is my htdocs folder. Okay, let me come to columns. So this is my MAMP, and my htdocs is here. So if you're also using Windows, you'll see XAMPP, and then you'll see htdocs. So inside that htdocs, it's where you put your what? Your project. Okay, so I'm going to put here my project, a new project. So I'm going to call that project. So I'll create a new folder, fresh folder. Right click, new folder. I'm going to call it eShop. eShop. Okay, so that is eShop. Okay, so this project basically is going to handle the what? Handle the web. So after doing that, I'm going to open this eShop in my text editor. So I'll come there. So this knowledge that I'm trying to share with you, it will enable you to create bus application, chatting application, as long as your application your mobile application can send the information to what? To the server. So if it can send the information to the server, and also consume the information from the server, then you can creatively create any kind of idea from that simple knowledge of the server communicating with with the online application. I'd opened so many projects. Let me first close some. Don't save. Okay, so after doing that, let me go ahead and load my project that I've just opened. Oh, I'd opened so many projects. Let me just minimize them. Okay, so I'll open my text editor again. Then save. And create instance. I'm pressing Ctrl N. So after creating a new instance, I'm going to drag and drop there my project. This one. You see? This is the one that I've just created. So just drag and drop it there. Okay. So you also drag the project in your htdocs, and drop it in your in your text editor. If it's Sublime Text, it's any project, as long as it is there. Okay, so after doing that, I'm going to create there my first folder. Where did I click? Okay, so let us go ahead and create our first file there, and it's going to be the index file. Okay, so the index file is the default file that will always be open in a project. So I click there on the new file here, and then this eShop folder, I'm going to put index.php. Okay, so there I'm just going to do something simple, test if my PHP has worked. So you open the PHP tag like that. At this time you should be having at least basics of PHP or basics of the web server language. Then after, I'm going to echo here and say home page, whatever. I save. Okay, so after saving, we are going to open this file and see if it really works in the in the browser. So I'll come to the browser, which is here, and then come to localhost stroke eShop. Okay, so for your Windows, you may not want to put this port of 88888. This one you may not need to put it. Just put local stroke the name of your project, and you should be able to get something like this. So I mean that it's now everything is beautiful. I can now get the I can now get my project there up and running. So we're going to begin with the first things first. We're going to begin with the logic of adding the product from from the web. Okay, so we're going to add the product from the web, and then after adding the product from the web, we can do we can see how we can add the product from from the mobile. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to create here a new file. I'm going to call it product add. Okay, so I'm going to come here, create a new file. I'm going to call it product creator.php. Okay, product create.php. So that file, its work is to just collect the information and submit to the to the product. I mean to the file that will be responsible for for adding the product. So if we want our user interface to look better, we better download this file of Bootstrap. Do I have any Bootstrap file? I believe you have some information about Bootstrap or what is meant by Bootstrap. Okay, so Bootstrap will help us to write CSS with simplicity. So I have this file of Bootstrap, but if you don't know it, you can go ahead and download it or get some basic information about it. Okay, so I have this project, this file of Bootstrap already here in my computer. If you never heard of something called Bootstrap, just search it. I already have the file, which is here, bootstrap.css. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy it and paste it here in my project. Okay, I'm going to paste it here in my project. You see, Bootstrap. So this is the file. You should be able to get this file, bootstrap.css. Just go to internet and download this file. Okay, after downloading it, save it in the same folder of your project. By doing like that, you'll have added Bootstrap in your in your project. Okay, so Bootstrap will help us to create some good user interface with simplicity. So here we're going to create a simple HTML5 structure, and then this one's going to call add product or create product. So after doing that, I'm going to come here and create a title, maybe h1, and call it add product. And then after doing that, I'm going to put here my form, and this form will submit to API stroke create, product create. So am I calling it API? Because this API, it will be just working on the logic of the mobile application and anything that we may want to integrate with our project. So it can be a Java project, can be a mobile application project. So anything, the interface or the application interface that's working with everything of that kind, it will be saved in this folder of what? API. Okay. So it's going to be API application, product create. Why am I beginning with the word product? We already had that discussion in the last lecture. So after doing that, that's where my table will be submitted. let me come here and put here some class of container, and then also maybe pt5. So let's go ahead and create here our simple form. So it's going to have some input. We will not write too many things. It's going to be having an input of text, and then it's going to have a name of what? Of product name. Okay, product name. And then after having product name, what else shall we have? We're going to have what? The value. We don't need the value. We'll put it there. Okay. Okay. We'll put the value. After doing that, let's go ahead and collect another thing, price. Okay. So we're going to have here type of number, and the name is going to be called price. Okay. And then let us give maybe placeholders. Placeholder name, and here placeholder price. Then can maybe put some BR tag to break these lines, and then don't forget now to put the submit button. Maybe also the description. Description. Maybe we can call it details. It's going to be text area, and this one is going to be details, and then that's it. Okay, details. And then what else? Maybe I give it a placeholder. That's kind of a label. Then after doing that, let's create our submit button. So just simply come here and put submit. I can just write button submit. Okay, so I'm going to write here, I will just submit. Okay, so by doing like that, let's go ahead and see how this file looks like. So just simply come to our browser and then come to eShop /product create. Okay, or you can put even the link here in the home page, so that all our links should be on the home page. So to do that, you just simply come to our home page here, and then remove this garbage, and then put instead welcome to eShop, maybe HTML. Okay, HTML, and then put here maybe doc, home. So we are learning both things, web and mobile in the same time. eShop. So we are practicing all good practices. Okay, so here we're going to put here just our ordered list, our unordered list UL, and then we're going to put here the first li. We're going to call it home, and then can put here maybe our simple h1. I like designing, and then we're going to call here welcome to eShop. Okay, so I hope you're together. So here we're going to have home page, home. I can put maybe menu. Okay, so in the first thing in the menu, we're going to put our first li is going to be add product. Okay, so add product, then we'll have here all product. Maybe we'll have here maybe edit, we'll have then delete. So we're going to emulate all these things in both mobile and web. So after doing that, let's go ahead and change this one into a link. So to change into a link, we just simply surround it with with anchor tag, a tag, and put here product create. just put here product dash create dot php, and then let's go ahead and put here the text of add link. It's supposed to be here between the anchor tag. Okay, so let's go ahead and save and see how this looks like. Okay, save, refresh. This is now what we have on our home page. Put it this side. Okay, this is what we have on our home page. Okay, so if you click on add product, we are taken to the page of what? Of adding new product. Okay, so they work, but they don't look that beautiful. Okay, so if you want them to look a little bit beautiful, now you have to do what? To now put some Bootstrap. So you come here and write link, and then put now bootstrap.css. So if you come and refresh, at least you can see some beautiful things. So let us change this one into our grouped link. So to change it into grouped link, just add a class called grouped list. It's called what? Let me see. Let me cheat here. Just search here. List group. Okay. Add this class called list group here. So come on, add it here. And in each class of list group, have what we call list group item. List group item. Add it on each item. So if you don't know Bootstrap, I really recommend you to go and learn it, because in real world almost everything is made on top of Bootstrap. Every theme, every template, almost everything on top of Bootstrap. So you better go and sit down and learn Bootstrap. So if you do like this, you'll have something which is beautiful like this one. Okay, so you see you have that. Okay, let's don't mind much about the designing, let's mind much about the business. Okay, so we can simply add a class called active, and maybe we can say it the width, maybe set it maybe 30%, and come and give here maybe a class of container and maybe p5. So if you come like that, you see by just writing a few things you'll have something, you see, really beautiful within just a minute. So you have to go and learn Bootstrap. So after doing that, let's now go ahead and create the add product logic. So add product logic, okay, let's mind not about the design, let's mind about the business. Okay, so you are going to add here the name, and here the price, and then also the details. Okay, so but designing is important also, you know. If you make things that don't look nice, then no one will care about them. So yeah, come and give p5. So if you want to design, and you see how they look like. So if you want to make, in fact, you're learning things that you're going to implement in real world. So let me give you so many tricks. So you see, that's how it looks like now after putting Bootstrap. So here instead you want to make a good user interface for entering a form. So come here and give what we call a class on each input. Give it a class called input control. Okay, so give that class to each input, and then you'll have something that is going to look much more better. Okay, so those are the tricks that you're going to need in real world. Input control. Let's refresh. Did we add Bootstrap class? Bootstrap.css, yes. Input control. Okay, yeah. So okay, so now after doing that, let's go ahead and now do the logic of adding the product price and product name, and then so maybe we'll also add the product image. But yeah, let me also show you how to upload an image, so that you can use this knowledge even to do other things. So I'm going to put here upload photo. So it's going to be input maybe input file, we'll call it file, and then can add another accept dot jpg comma dot png comma dot jpeg. So you can write here the extension that you want to be accepted. First, if by Bootstrap has imported btn primary. So after doing that, that is much said already. Okay, so let's go ahead and put maybe some BR tags here, so you can separate these lines. So if you refresh here, it's not called input control, it's called form control, not input control. Form, I think, yeah, form control. And then you'll have these kind of beautiful inputs, so it will be a little bit much more beautiful. Let's give it maybe here some simple style and limits width maybe to 50%. Okay, now after doing that, now let us go ahead and do the logic of receiving this information. So if I do like this, I will have something like that. Okay, so the first thing, if you want to upload a photo or a file, you must put the file must, the form type method must be of post. So I'll come here and change the form type. So I'll put method and change it to what? To post. Okay, so you must change the method to what? To post. So if you also want to upload a file, the encrypt type must be multipart. I've never memorized that word, but you can always find it here on internet. It's called encrypt type multipart. Okay, encrypt type multipart, this one. So I'll copy it and come and add it here. I've never bothered to memorize it. Okay, in case you want to upload a file in a form, so that must be also in tag of what? Of a form. So with that much said, now let us go ahead and create this file that is going to receive this form. Okay, so we have called it product create, but it will be in a folder called API. So let's go ahead and create our folder here, and we're going to call it API. And then that's a folder file, a folder called API. And inside this API, we're going to create this file that's going to be receiving and perform the logic of this form when someone submits it. Okay, so to do that, I will just simply come and say API, and it's a new file, and I'm going to call it product create.php. Okay, so this is the product that the file under API is the file that will deal with now the logic of uploading this, receiving the form, and then upload the product. So to receive the form, I'm just going to open here my PHP, and then come and echo here, just say echo good to go. So it must be between the quotes. Okay, so this is for creating the form, this is for receiving the form. The one under API folder is the one that will deal with the form logic. So let's go ahead and now add the product. We're going to add the soap, and maybe it is 100 kg, and then I can write here maybe some information about soap. Let me come here and get some lorem. Okay, save, and then paste here some lorem. Okay, so can even get some photo. Let me just get here some random photo. And then say open. And then say click submit. So when I click submit, I should be able to get this good to go. So we have now to collect this data that has been submitted from the form, and then put it on on the database. Okay, so to do that, we are just simply going to come to our API folder, which is this one, this file, where there is good to go. So I'm going to dump. Dumping means is to print everything that is possible. I'm going to dump everything that is in the post variable, super global variable. So I just simply say print and then say print underscore r and then open $sign underscore then post and then also open $sign underscore files. So files, they will be in a file folder and then post will be in the post folder. Okay, so that's how we can see, and always echo these pre-tags so that it can be organized in a better way. So if we refresh, oh, nothing came. Why? Maybe we did not write the method properly. Nothing came to our folder. Nothing came. In fact, they came through get. Okay, let us see what went wrong. I think here the method, we don't write it properly. So inside the form, we have to write method and then put post. Otherwise, if you don't write post, then it will not work. So method post, and then we can go ahead and refresh again and try to resubmit. So soap price 1,200, and then you can put a picture of a soap, and then go ahead and write here some details about soap, and then after we click on submit. So when you click on submit right now, at least we should be able to see there's something in soap. Okay, but in our file nothing came. I think this multipart part must come last. That's why I think. Okay, we'll do the, okay, let's do that logic of multipart. So refresh again. Let me put here some values so that I should not repeat myself multiple times. So give here value soap, and then come here and give here price. So it's going to be value 1,200, and then come and give file. That one will always have to select it, and then come and put here between the text area, put some simple details about soap. Save. Let's refresh and re-upload and see. I hope multipart should come last. I think include type multipart, and then this style should come very last. Okay, so let's go ahead and refresh. So the form was already filled, only need a picture. Let's get here some just dummy picture, and then go ahead and upload. So the form did not come in the file, but we'll work on that. File multipart. Let me see. Multipart should always come last. Begin with action, then method, then multipart. Okay. So method should always come second. I think the arrangement also matters because, okay, so here did I print files? Yes. Okay, let's go ahead and resubmit. Select another file and submit. I don't know why this small pattern is coming, but we'll fix it. So let's go ahead and create the form for this. Let's go ahead and create this form. I mean the table that will be saving the product details, the product information. So to create a table, we just simply come to localhost stroke phpMyAdmin, and then there we can come here and create a new database. Okay, I click on new database. I'm going to call it eShop, and then create it. Okay, so by doing like that, I'll have this empty database. So we're going to save our information there. So we'll begin by creating our first product, our first folder in this eShop project. So I click on that database and make sure I've clicked on the right database, and then I click on create. Okay, let me zoom out so I can see stuff. So I come here and click on database, and then after we create a table. So to create a table, we just simply click here. And to create table using user interface. So just enter the table name. So our table name is going to be products. So this is where we're going to be saving all the products. And then you can also increase maybe there are 5 fields. And then you click on go to create this product. So the first one will be an ID. So when you create each and every project, when you create each and every folder, always put there the what? The ID. Otherwise, if you don't put the ID, then that folder will be very weak. So it should be by default it should be null, and then it should be nullable. And then the important part here, you have to make it auto increment here, and should be a primary key. It should have to auto increment and be a primary key, the ID. So after doing that, we go to the next thing, which is going to be maybe the name, the product name. So we'll come there, and then here we'll come and create the variable character. Maybe a product name will have less than 255 characters, and maybe it will not be null. It can be null. Then after creating the product name, we go ahead and create the maybe details, then dot details, and then this one details is going to be text field, and then maybe it can also be null. And then we create also image or the photo. So it should also be text, and I'll explain why I call it text. Then after I save. So to save, you just simply come and click here save, and then to process, and we'll have your table created. Okay, so this is where we're going to save the what? The data for our products. So after doing that, let's go ahead and create a what? Create the connection between our PHP file and this database. So you're going to wait for me just a minute. You give me just a minute. Okay, so let's resume the business. What I'm going to do, I'm going to resume our clock. Now, we're at this point where we're just creating the database, and then the ID and the product and the details. Oh, we forget one thing, price. So if you want to add a column, just come and click here and add price. Price can be an integer and can be nullable as well, and then save. So you have also price there. So let's go ahead and add this name, name, price, details. What else is missing? Name, price, and details, and image. Image, yeah, image is missing. We'll work on that. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. So to do that, we first create a connection between our PHP and what? Between our PHP and the database. So to create connection, I don't know whether I still remember. Let me see. So to create connection, you just write $ con equals new MySQLi. My laptop is a bit slow. There's so many things. My SQLi, and then you pass these parameters. The first one, you pass the host name, so it's going to be local host. The second parameter, you pass the username, which is root. The third parameter, you pass the password, which is root also. That is for the Mac, but for Windows, password you leave it as nothing. I think by default password is nothing. Okay, so for Mac, I'll just pass the root, and then the last thing is the database name. So the database that we're going to use we called it eShop. So by doing like that, we should be able to have some connection. So after doing like that, let's go ahead and see if this connection is really working. Okay, we can just simply say just run this and see if it will not throw an error. So if refresh, my SQLite has thrown an error. eShop is not known, so this database is not there called eShop. How did you name ours? Oh, I made a mistake when I called it eShop. Okay, we can just also adjust. So come and change this one to eShop, whatever database you named. So until you have no any issue. So you see there's no any issue. So let's go ahead and create the SQL that's going to insert the data into this database. So I can just simply write here SQL equals to insert into that's how we write SQL of inserting. Insert into, and then where the table name, insert into the table name, which is going to be products, and then we do like this, values, I mean open bracket, and then put what you're going to specify, the name, comma, and then price, comma, and then after the price, what else? Price, and then just look at this, insert SQL. Product, insert. This is how the SQL looks like. I can just come SQL and click here on insert. Then you can get the idea. Insert into products, then the name, and then okay. So I have the name, detail, name, price, details. Name surrounded with the tilde like this, tilde. Name, price, not the quotes but tilde, but still you can leave it without even quotes. Tilde is the button under the that character, the button on the button under the escape. Name, price, details, maybe details. The image logic, you can look at it later. Okay, so and then put values, and then open bracket, and then inside these values now you can pass like this. So you can organize as well. You can organize this thing like this. You start into products, then press the tab key, then open this one, and then press the tab key, then name, tab key, and then press here enter, then the comma, and then drop this tab key, and then you organize it like this. So here we're going to have the value of what? Of the name. So to get the name, you can just simply say name equals we get it from the name, and then we duplicate. We get also the price from price, duplicate. We get the details from the post details. So we'll have here now, we substitute these values here as name first, comma, and then what? Price, and then price, and then detail. Make sure that you put the commas at the end, and then don't put the comma at last. Don't do that mistake, baby. So save. Let us first echo this SQL and see if it is okay. So I'm going to die with it. Do not die like that. Die, it will make it dump it. So let's go ahead, save and refresh here. I have spent long without restarting my computer. it becomes a little bit slower. So that's our SQL. You see the SQL that I've just created. You see, insert into price, and then values, soap, price, soap, and details. Okay, soap details. So this SQL, I hope it's now good to be run. So let's run it. So to run the SQL, you just get your connection here, the connection variable, and then you say con, and then say query, like this, and then you pass the SQL. Okay, SQL. So if you don't get any complaint, then to mean that you'll have executed that SQL properly. So if I refresh, beautiful, no error. So if I come here and click on the table of products, at least I should have one product, which is there. You can see it. There's one product there. So that is beautiful. Now let's go ahead and do it and work on the response, because response is also a good thing to tell the user whether something was successful or not. So to do this, we are going to be returning JSON. I hope you guys will know what is meant by JSON, a JavaScript object that we can use to communicate to different programming languages. So you see this is PHP, but I'll upload the lecture after the class. This is PHP, but we are going to use it we are going to use this same application in Dart, in JavaScript, and all the rest. So we need to create as common communication means that every language can understand, and the best one is JSON. So here I'm going to check if someone does not send us the name, does not send us the price, does not send up the details, we will not allow those persons to go ahead. So to do that, I'm just going to say if is set, it checks if something is set or not set. So if is not set, if is set, post name. So I'm going to make the opposite. So I'm going to say if is not set. So to make the opposite, you just put the colon here, like this, and I mean the exclamation mark, like that. So this one is if the name is not set. So I must tell someone, hey, you must provide us the name in order to do what? To create this. Okay. So I'll put here, or if the name is not set, or the price is not set, or detail is not set. Let me remove this last or, and then I'm going to return the application, to stop the application from here by saying die. So I'm going to create a simple array. So I'm going to create here a simple array. I'm going to call it response, which is going to be having this. I know if you're new in PHP, this can become confusing, but straightforward thing. So it's going to have an array of is an associative array. So it's going to have a value, I mean an attribute and value, So I'm going to put something called status here. So this status, it will be telling either the mobile application that something was successful or not. So status is 0. So status 0, it will be for it failed, and then 1, it will be for success. So we are the one creating these rules by ourselves. So status is 0, and maybe you can put here also the message, and then the message you can pass, you must provide a name, price, and details. Okay, so in case someone wants to create a product, must provide those ones. Okay, and then in case maybe we may need to pass some data. Okay, let us pass those information. So be passing the status, and we'll be passing the status and the message, and then after we echo this data, to convert it now to JSON. Okay, so if we want to convert this data to JSON, we have what we call JSON encode. So this JSON encode will turn an array, will turn this array into what? Into a JSON. So we are encoding this one to JSON, and then if we don't want to, we want to make sure that this application does not exceed here, we just write exit. Okay, so in case someone does not send us the name, or you don't send us the price, or you didn't send us any of these ones, what we'll do, we'll just create an array and say status is 0, and then we tell him what you need to do, and then we stop the application from here. Why? If we don't send us the name and then the application proceed, it means that it will crash at this point. So that's why we avoid it from this point. So at last here, let me go ahead and also create a response at last. And this response is going to come here after successful. I'm going to create a success, and the success will always be 1, okay? And then you can say product created successfully. The message, product. So I'm giving you techniques that are going to help you to create a real world application. Product created successfully, and save. Okay? So, and then we convert to JSON and then exit the application. So let's go ahead and refresh. See? 1, product created successfully. So let's try to unset one of these ones. I'm taking you so far. Okay, so just come here and say unset name. So if you just unset the name, you must provide name, price, and details. So it did not proceed here. So it means that everything is beautiful now. So by doing like that, we are going to go straight to the mobile application, and we see if the mobile application can send some data and also upload or using what? On the same server. So to do like that, I'll go to our mobile app project, which is here, and then I'm going to do all that logic here. So to do that logic, we're going to require a library that we're going to add an application that will help us to communicate with what? With online things, or to send requests to internet. So in Flutter, we have the most popular ones called HTTP. Just come here and search HTTP Flutter. So there is a package called HTTP, and the most popular one. So you come here and click on it. So you can see this is the popular package, 100%, 130 points, and these are the likes. So almost everyone is using this one. Okay, HTTP, it sends the information to the internet. But for me, there's the one that I prefer. It's called Dio, Flutter Dio, not Dio the dress, the brand. It's just called DIO. Okay, so that DIO is really beautiful. I've used it in my applications and I've found it very interesting. Though it has 120 points, but it really works very well. So it's the one that we're going to use. Okay, so but you can as well use HTTP. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this and add it in my project. So you just copy this small thing, okay, Dio, and then come to your project, your Flutter project. And then go to where there is a pubspec.yaml. Click there. My laptop, I've spent it long without switching it off. It starts glitching. Okay. Then we are going to add there, after this SDK, we are going to add there this. Make sure that they are on the same line exactly as I've done them here. Then you click on pubget. Okay. Something is not right. What are they saying? Dependencies. If it disturbs you, depends. I did not put in the right line. Okay, it has. Oh no, it's supposed to be here. It's supposed to be here, not in the same line with SDK. It's supposed to be one step ahead, in the same line with where the word Flutter. Here. One step behind. If you do a mistake, it will not work. You see? In the same line with the word Flutter, I think. That's where it's supposed to be, I think. Let's go ahead and try to run to get. Click on right. Hopefully, it's going to work. Otherwise, if you don't organize these things properly, they won't work. So, I think it's working. So it is adding that library now. Now project, boom. I think it's what? It's not successful. Okay. So after doing that, now let us go ahead and run some HTTP. So to do that, we'll come and see the documentation. Okay. So the documentation, and they will tell us, just click on example. They'll tell you how to use the whole thing. So our task is to send the data to internet. It's supposed to be an example. It's supposed to be in documentation. Let me see. Read me. So super simple to use. So this is how we get the online data. Let us try to see if we can get this google.com and see if we can get it offline. So just simply come to our project, come to where there is a product add. So after I've added deal, so we'll just use this one, do product upload, do upload. Let us use it just for testing. So what I'm going to do here on do upload, you know this do upload will be called when you click on the submit button. So I'm just going to write this, the await. So if this await will, if you don't put here async, it will throw an error. So write async here. Okay. So right there is dio. So what you do, you put your mouse on the word dio if it's thrown an error, and then you come and click here on this red bulb, and then you see import dio library, and then you click there, and then the error will stop crying. And then let's go ahead and put this response in the console. So print. So this response, it returns something called status code. Status code, it will return the status code of telling you if you are successful or not. Those 200, 404, that will be the status code. So let me come here and put this. Why are you putting await? Because it's going to delay. That's why I put await. If you don't put await, then it will skip it. It will skip it. It will be loading, and then the project will skip it. So it's status code, and there's another response called, another property called body. And body is the data. It's called data, not body. I think it's called data. So that data is now the response that comes from internet. So let's go ahead and see if we can get this. Let me return here. Let me return the application so that it should not proceed from there. So let me put here some print and say starting. And then come here and put done. Okay, so after doing like that, we'll be able to know when it started and when it finished loading. And here we are trying to fetch some data from google.com. We are trying to fetch Google if we can get the website of Google. So let's go ahead and click on run. My laptop is a bit slow today because it's been long switching it off. So I'll click on submit. Still compiling. You see? Starting, beautiful. Can you see? Starting, source code 200, response. You see that the Google website, and then it is done. So it successfully connected to the internet and gave us something back. You see? So it successfully connected this website and gave us something from that website. Okay? So after doing that, now let's see how we can connect to our what? To our local site. Okay? So to connect to your local site, the local host, you have to use an IP. So just come here and search Android emulator localhost IP. It is this one. I hope it's that one. Localhost IP. This one. I think this one, 10.0.2.2. 10.0.2.2. That's the localhost IP. So we're going fastest in the browser. So if you're using the emulator, we'll use that one. So we're going to go to our browser first and see if it will really do something and get information from our localhost. Okay. So come to the browser and first test if your emulator is working, if your emulator can connect to that. But if you have the online server, you may not even worry about that. Okay? And you know, to use emulator, your computer at least should be powerful. So it is localhost 10.2.2. So if you're using a port, put that port here. For example, my port is 8888. That's why I put it there. So you see it has successfully brought me the home page. So it means that mine is working. So if I go ahead again and add it, and now let me specify the name of my project, which is eShop. Stroke what? Stroke E shop. I'm trying to point to my local host. That's why I'm putting this IP. So
shop.
No, that's the database. Beautiful. Can you see? It's working. The other one is database. This is the site. Thank you for observation, but means you're following. Okay, so that is good. So you see, it is connecting. Now let us see if we can get this one through the app. Let me close even this. Okay. So to get it through the app, sometimes you need to define things that are okay. To get through the app, so I'm going to come here to the project. My laptop's a bit slow because I've spent long without starting it, without switching it. So I'll come and put here our IP 10.2.2, and then the port, my port. So if you're not using ports, just leave it. My port 888 stroke E what? E shop, and then I save. And then after saving, let's go ahead and click on run. Okay, let us bring our app. Okay, just get our application. First close this Chrome. Okay, beautiful. Now let us click on submit. It's loading. Beautiful. You see, it worked. It has brought 200 and it brought the home. You see, list what. So it worked. That's beautiful. So let's go ahead and so you have to define this parent URL, the base URL. You have to define it and make it constant somewhere, so that you should not repeat yourself every time. So I'll come in utils. Remember I created utils, and that's where we're going to put some constants. So let me go ahead and define another constant. I'm going to call it static string constant equal, and I give it a name. I'm going to call it what? Base underscore URL. Okay, so when defining your project, always put your base URL in one place, so that you should not repeat yourself. Or if in case you change your project, you just change only one place, and then if you change the domain, you just change only one place, and then the whole project does what? The whole project does update. So this is the base URL of my project. Okay, static constant base URL string. So I'll be just coming and say, if I want to reference here, so I'll just simply come and say utils dot utils that base URL. Okay, so there it will do the do get. Now we are going to post the data. Okay, we are going to post some data and see if this mobile application will be able to send the information to our database. Okay, so to do that, we'll just simply say come to do documentation. How do you send a post? Okay, you know the other post posting. So this is how you send a post. Okay, and how do you send a form? In very simple. This is how you send a post. So very simple. You see how it's very simple. I don't know, I should even say it. So this is how we send it. Just change it to this one from get to what? To post, and then put comma. Now I want to attach data. Okay, so the URL that we want to send the data to. So the URL that I want to send the data to is base URL. Let me come here. So where do you want to send the data to? You want to send the data to $, and then base URL stroke product add, right? I mean stroke API. We are pointing to where our the file that will load that can handle the logic of receiving a form of product. Stroke API stroke what? Stroke product create.php. Okay, so that's where ours is. So now the second parameter, we have to add the data. Okay, let's first send this one. So if we send this one, what should you expect? You'll expect you must do what? You must provide the information. You must provide the name, the details, and the price. Hopefully. Let's go ahead and send to that. Submit. You see? Beautiful. Status 0, you must provide name, price, and details. Okay, so it's beautiful. So it's working. Let's go ahead and provide them. So to provide them, we just simply come here. Where is our post? Here. And add another parameter. Comma. And this parameter is going to call what? Called data. To be called data. And then you open a curly bracket. And then you start putting parameter and value, So you're going to put name, put comma, and then put the value like this. Maybe sugar, comma. So they need price, maybe 11,000. There should be no comma, it's an integer. And then need details. Simple sugar details. Go here. Okay, so we have provided the name, the price, the details. Hopefully, so save. Okay. So save. I hope we are still together, members. Okay, so save. Let's now submit. This process. Click submit. Says that you must provide name and details. So let us see if everything is well provided. Name, price, details. Let's go back and see. Name, price, details. No mistakes. Yes. So what is we missing? We're missing, I think, the form. Form data. You have to create something called form data. Okay. Yeah, this is the thing. You see, you have to create this form data if you're sending a post. The other one works on get only. So we'll have to first and create this form data on top here. Here on top. Okay. Just say variable form data equals form data dot map, and then you pass the information. So you're going to pass this information, this one that you just put here, plainly cut it, and then we put it here. There. You paste it there. So form data equals form data dot map, and then open bracket, and then curl bracket, and then put this JSON. Copy now that form data variable and paste here in front of data. Hopefully it's gonna work. And we don't have sugar in our table, so we should be able to get sugar right now. So delete every stuff and click on submit. Starting. Beautiful. Can you see that? Success message, product created successfully. Come to the database, which is the online server, right? Which is the internet. Come to internet. Click on products. You see, we now have sugar. We clicked there twice. We now have soap, and this sugar we notice coming from what? From a mobile application. That is very great achievement for your application to communicate and send the information to the what? To the server. So we are going to go for a break. I know the time is over, but you have to bend. You have to work a little bit more harder. We are going to go for a break, and as I pray, and then you'll come back after 15 minutes. I'm going to pray, and then after 15 minutes, I want you back, and then we resume from there. At least we should be able to finish this part today. Sending the information to internet, getting the information to mobile application. If we do 1 hour and a half, we can also see how we can upload. The time is up, I know. We're going to look at how we can upload a file from what? From our computer to the internet. And that will be a lecture of 60 minutes. So let's go and have a break for 15 minutes. Immediately after 15 minutes, I want you back here. We're going to have other 60 minutes where I'm going to explain to you how you can upload a file to the internet. And then if time allows, we can even go ahead and say we can upload this information to the server. Okay, so